Hello everyone, and welcome to Authentic Now Yoga, the online yoga studio for anybody and everybody. My name is Jody Pignole, and today we're going to have a full class where we focus on fine-tuning our poses. So when we're practicing the present moment, there are literally a million things that we can put our attention on. But it's nice to just return to the basics about what does it look like to be in this posture. And so for our purposes today, we're going to lengthen wherever we can lengthen, deepen wherever we can deepen, find and tweak our alignment, and then find that right effort. So that place between gripping, forcing, and just no energy at all. My little cue for when I'm in right effort is when I feel that there's life in that part of my body, wherever it is that I'm trying to find that sweet spot. So let's get started, and we're going to start immediately by fine-tuning our easy seated pose. So it's easy seated, meaning you're finding a posture that you can maintain for a long time, but it's not meant to be effortless. So finding that nice solid base that you don't have to worry about, you can let that all relax. Finding that neutral pelvis. Finding your tall spine. Letting those shoulders drift away from the ears. Yeah, bringing the ears over the shoulders. And then allowing everything to come into more stillness. So your mind, just set aside anything that seems important. Your breath, you can slow it down. Yeah, become more attuned to the sensations you're feeling. Nice, and then I'll be quiet for a little bit so you can have more time to practice with yourself, as I will with myself. Eyes open or closed, whatever's most comfortable and helpful. With these next few breath cycles, just simply allow that breath to fill your whole being. Imagine just reaching out to all of your edges. Nice, and whenever you're ready, you can open your eyes if they're closed. So this idea that we can get into a posture and that we just are staying there as a static experience is really not the yoga way. So just having that awareness of when we are in our posture, when we've come to the shape that we want our body to make, that's when we can start implementing all of these ideas for fine-tuning. So first we're going to do a little bit of warming up. Just a simple little spiral twist with the spine. So plug in those sit bones. Grow that spine nice and tall, trying to track that vertical line. And then all we're going to do is simply rotate our spine along that axis. So take the right hand behind, left hand comes to the outside of the right knee. Yes. And then we'll just find a simple, easy twist here. Reaching up with that crown helps remind you to stay aligned. Nice. What's that right effort? We never really force anything. just encourage. Lovely. All right, release, inhale, come on up. Let's come over to the second side. So the left hand goes behind, right hand comes to the outside of the left knee. Plug in the sit bones, grow the spine first, then find your way around that vertical axis. So we're lengthening, we're deepening, we're aligning, we're finding the right effort. Yes. All right, release, come on back up. Let's go to the first side. We're going to find our spiral. There we go. And then let's reach up with the right arm. Take that left shoulder to the left knee, reaching that arm over. Yes, stay here a few breath cycles. Deepen, lengthen, align, right effort. Yes, all right, come on back up and over to the second side. Ground in the sit bones, nice neutral pelvis, tall, aligned spine, all the way to the crown. As far as we know, unless we have a mirror, we don't really know where we are. We just use our proprioception. Nice. Or you have a teacher somewhere in your classroom. All right, let's reach up with that left arm over the right knee. Fine tune. Nice. All right, come on back up. Another little phrase that I like is micro adjustments. So just little tiny, we're just dialing it in. Okay, let's take the legs out front, hands behind. Let's just give them a little pedal. So I like to go forward with the balls, come back with curled toes, have a nice engaged core. If you're feeling really good, you can maybe go opposite elbow to opposite knee, or just hold your hands over the chest. Yeah. Don't let the belly release. Good. Okay, let's come into a child's pose. So child's pose, because it's something we kind of tend to just drop into without giving it a lot of thought, I want to encourage you, if you need modifications, to take those. If you need your knees wider, I like closer together, but you listen to what your body can sustain. So this is a nice opportunity to just connect deeply with the breath, to let your spine lengthen, to let your hips soften, and then set an intention if that's part of your practice. And so we're going to fine tune the child's pose when we get in there. It's just assessing what's happening. What do we notice? Do we need to make any adjustments? Can we deepen? Can we lengthen? Nice. A few more breath cycles here. Staying connected to your posture. Nice. All right, let's come on up. So we're going to curl the toes under. We're going to bring ourselves back into a squat pose. So for the very beginning, we're just going to work our way into a squat pose because it can be fairly intense for some bodies. So just find what your body is up for today, even if it just looks like this. Maybe it looks like this. wherever you are on that continuum of working your way into a deep posture. And we'll just take another breath cycle, working our way in, and then we're gonna bring the feet parallel, find a forward fold. Same thing, just work yourself in. If you need to bend the knees deeply, go ahead and do that. If you can only come up halfway, that's wonderful also. It's your authentic forward fold, your authentic squat. We're just finding what that is for right now. And you can take that back and forth a little. Helps to open things up. And then we're going to meet back up at the squat. And we're going to fine tune it. So, ideally, heels are on the mat. If that's not going to work for you, you can put a blanket underneath. There's a whole video about modifications for your squat, which you might want to just pause and go and find what is going to work for your body. But just settling in on those grounded feet, lengthening the spine. If you can get those elbows in between the knees and the hands in prayer pose, that's wonderful. Lengthen where you can lengthen. Deepen where you can deepen. Align. Right effort. Yeah, we're just dialing it in. There's no one perfect way to be in this pose. Good to know, I always think. All right, one more breath cycle. Make it count. And then let's shift ourselves into a forward fold. So same thing, just find parallel feet underneath your hips. We're just gonna get this fine-tuned. Your knees can be bent or extended. Allow gravity to lengthen your spine. Use a block here if you need that for support. We're coming up halfway. There's also a video for forward folding. Lengthen, deepen, align. Right effort. And then let's just walk our hands up our legs, coming all the way to a standing pose. Nice. Okay, so we're going to work on a standing mountain pose. Get that dialed in. It's a very foundational. It's got so many great elements that we take into other poses. So finding feet parallel underneath the hips. I like to go parallel from the center of the ankle to that second toe. Nice. And then let's find a nice neutral pelvis. So the butt is not sticking out the back. It's not tucked under too far. Just play around with that sweet spot there. And as we do that, we're engaging the quads, we're engaging the glutes, the pelvic floor, the belly. And then we just lift that spine up right out of that pelvis. Find a neutral rib cage so the ribs aren't sticking out the front. The back isn't rounding in the back. I'll just turn sideways. Got my neutral pelvis. Got my neutral rib cage. This is all engaged, lifting. Let's take the shoulders up towards the ears. Bring them back and take them down away from the ears. The collarbones can widen. You can bring the head into alignment over the shoulders. Nice. So a few breath cycles, being in this posture, lengthening. There's not really much to deepen here. Working on the alignment, finding that center line. Yes, and finding the right effort. So I'm not static and clenched, but I'm alive and engaged. Yeah, nice. All right, let's clasp the hands in front. Bring the arms up over the head without losing the vertical alignment. So tuck that all back in if you need to. And then just bring yourself up onto the balls of the feet. Imagine I'm pulling your hands gently towards the ceiling. Yeah, giving you extra support. Nice, and then just gently lower back down. Release your hands. Let's take our feet about a leg length apart. They're still parallel. So the same things are going to apply here as we stand. Feel our feet into the ground, lengthen the legs, find the neutral pelvis and spine. Shoulders away from the ears. Let's reach the arms out. Nice. All right, let's take the left toes towards that wall. The right toes are going to come forward. My chest is still parallel with the side of the mat. Take the right hand to the hips. Just reach long with the left. So this top of this femur, this thigh bone, can come back and kind of track more towards the center so it's not sticking out the side. Nice. Hand to the leg or to the block or to the mat. Lengthen the spine. Bring the shoulders into the same plane. This right hip can open up a little bit. Yes. Nice. Reach up with that right arm if that's where you're going to go with this. So a few more breath cycles. We're just going to enjoy our triangle pose while we dial it in. There's always something we can tweak, shift. Yeah. One more breath cycle. Lovely. All right, let's look down at the foot. Come on out. We're going to bring our feet parallel. Again, just take your hands to your hips. Find the neutral pelvis. Find the tall spine. And then let's come into a forward fold. So if you need blocks here, go ahead and take blocks or books, whatever you have. And we'll just find a forward fold here in the straddle position. Hands can rest underneath the shoulders. They can take a grip on the big toe. Maybe they're not reaching that far. They can just brace on the legs or stay at the hips. And so fine-tuning here, engaging, lengthening, aligning, deepening. One more breath cycle. What's to be done? Lovely. All right, let's just walk ourselves back up. Find a nice tall spine again. Let's bring the heels in, toes out. And then we're just going to take this beautiful aligned upper body that we have and just drop that down towards the mat. If you find that your knees are too far out or too far in, they want to be right over the ankles, then adjust your stance. Let's take hands in prayer pose so we can just focus on the alignment and the deepening. Whenever our hands in prayer pose, we can use that as a reminder to widen the collarbones. Yeah. So the knees might want to come forward. Just encourage them to move back behind. Feel the engagement in the core. Yes, the lengthening and that vertical orientation. And then maybe you can drop down a little more. Maybe, and anything counts. Doesn't have to be big movements. One more breath. Lovely. All right, bring yourselves out. Release. Let's bring the feet parallel again. Let's reach those arms out. Find your alignment, your orientation to the vertical. And then let's take the right toes towards that wall. The left toes come forward. Whoops, my chest wanted to turn. Take the left hand to the hips. Reach forward with the right. Lengthen. Let that femur come back and in. Hand goes to the leg, the mat, the block. And then you just get to take a little time here. Get this dialed in. Lengthening, deepening, aligning. Finding the sweet spot energetically. Yeah. So good. One more breath. Nice. Let's look down at the foot. Come on back out. Bring your feet parallel again, and then you can walk your feet together or hop your feet together. Nice. All right, let's work on a chair pose. So I love to do a chair pose with the legs together. I think that they give each other support. And so then we'll find from bottom to top that alignment again. Getting that dialed in. Arms up overhead or out front or back behind. And then we just sit that back down. So what can be a tendency is to then arch the back. But we say, nope. Tuck it under. Use the belly. Find the distance. It doesn't have to be great. This is a chair pose. 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 Really feel those legs moving towards each other. Yes. Okay, find your position. Dial it in. Alignment, length, engagement. Maybe you can deepen more. Maybe you're there. One more breath. Yes. All right, come on out. Release if you need to wiggle, shake, take child's pose, whatever you need to do. You're going to come down to the mat. When I am seated, I like to sit on a blanket. Helps with that angle of the hips for me and my body. So we're just going to bring the bottoms of the feet together and just first take them out nice and wide. Find a tall spine and just fold forward. And then let's come on up. Bring those feet closer if you can. If you find that you are rolling backwards to bring the feet forward, you can sit up a little taller. Maybe add another blanket or a blanket if you haven't done so already. Yeah, so you can have those sit bones reaching down or just move your feet back out. There you go. All right, so we're just going to let those knees be taken down by gravity. We're going to find the sit bones in a nice tall spine. Shoulders away. Yes. So you can stay here. If you've got any fold in you, you can fold over those feet. And just take a few breath cycles to dial this in. That back up. Let's take the left shin forward and the right shin back. Nice. balance out those sit bones. If you can't balance them out, put a blanket underneath, or a towel or whatever you have, underneath the lower sit bone so that you can get those a little more balanced, and then you can come up with your nice tall spine. And then we're going to face that nice tall spine over the left thigh. So maybe this is as far as you're going to make it, and that's fantastic. If you can come forward over that thigh, this is the great time to do that. Any amount, whatever you have. And we're just going to stay here for a few breath cycles while you fine-tune that pose. Lengthening, deepening, finding the right effort, finding the alignment. Nice. All right, bring yourselves back up. And then we will switch sides. So the right shin comes forward, the left shin comes back, the sit bones balance. Find the alignment in your spine. And then let's face over the right thigh and come forward. What's your distance? One more breath cycle, practicing fine-tuning. Nice. All right, bring yourselves back up. We're going to bring that left shin forward again, but tuck it into the thigh and extend the right leg. All right, again, balance out the sit bones, find a tall spine. Squeaky foot. Let's bring our arms up to get some more length and facing forward. Reminder for that alignment. And then we're going to bend over that right leg. So you can reach with the right arm wherever it'll reach. You can take this left arm over top again, or you can have it down by the thigh, moving you deeper into your side bend here, or reaching around the back. Reminding your chest to stay open. Yeah. Find your shape and get it dialed in. So deepening, lengthening, right effort, alignment. One more breath. Nice, bring yourself back up. Let's bring the right leg in, the left leg comes out. Find your balanced sit bones, find your tall spine. Let's reach up with both arms to get that length. And then we bend over that left leg. Taking your arm position that you choose. And then what is needed to get this baby dialed in? It's not stagnant. It can be little movements. Yeah, one more breath. Beautiful. Come on up. Let's come over onto our bellies. And just rest one hand on top of the other and rest your forehead on the hands. Just reaching those big toes back and wiggle out the hips. Nice. And then just kick your feet to your bottom, keeping your pelvis down. Nice. All right, let's reach the legs long. Feel that pelvis really ground into the mat. And then just lift one leg, the other. Nice, lower. All right, let's lift our head off our hands. Take the arms by your sides, palms facing thighs. Feel those fingertips reaching towards the feet, bringing the shoulders with. Nice. Feel all that length, feel that engagement. And just lift your upper body. And then lift your legs, reaching long. Anything more you can do to dial in while we're up here? I can think of a few things. Nice. And then lower and just rest your head on one cheek. Let those shoulders just flop down to the mat and release. All right, let's get that all set up again. Heels move towards the ceiling, the arms by your sides, reaching away from the ears. Lift, lift. Lengthen, deepen, align. Right effort. Nice. Feel all those places that are alive. Good. One more breath. And release. Rest on the opposite cheek. All right, let's take the hands under the shoulders. Push the hips back. Let's come into another child's pose. You remember how this goes. Yes. All right, let's come all the way onto our backs. Reach yourself long. You can flex and point. Nice. Release your arms. Let's hug the left knee in towards the chest. Just right in the same lane as the hip. Just give it a good squeeze. Then we're going to take the knee out towards the edge of the mat. We're going to take the foot forward. And then we're going to bring that whole shin towards the chest. So this is a reclined pigeon pose. You can point that right leg if you want to. Yeah, just getting that dialed in. Nice. Release the foot. Bring the knee back in. Let's take that knee over to the right. Reach the left arm out on the mat, keeping both shoulders down. Engage, lengthen the right leg. Lengthen the spine. Yes. Fine-tuning. It's a fun little practice. Keeps things alive. It keeps things interesting. All right, bring that knee back in. Release it to the mat. Let's hug in our right knee. Give it a nice good squeeze. Then let's move the knee out to the side, bring the foot around. Let's move that shin towards the chest. You can point the toes on the left leg if you like. Whatever you've got, we will happily accept it. Yeah, fine-tuning, lengthening, deepening. All right, release the foot. Knee back for a squeeze. Then we'll take it for a twist over to the left. Keeping your right shoulder down. You can extend and engage that left leg. Find your spinal alignment. Yeah. We might want to fall asleep when we're in a pose, but we like to stay awake. Lovely. All right, bring that knee back up. Give a little squeeze. Let's bring both knees in again. Take those feet to the mat. So we're going to find our arms by our sides. The feet are hip width apart, fairly close to your bottom. Maybe they're touch the fingertips. Tuck their shoulder blades under. We're just going to come into a few bridge poses. So all we're doing is lifting up as we ground our feet into the mat, ground the shoulders. Yes, lengthen. You can reach those knees forward. And lift up with your heart. One more breath. All right, let's just lower the hips. And then just tilt your pelvis forward and back. Feel it in contact, your lower back in contact with the mat, and then feel it lift off the mat. All right, this time we're going to peel our spine off. So tilt the pelvis so your lower back is in contact with the mat, and then just lift slowly, mindfully, one little vertebra off the mat at a time. Need to ground the feet, ground the shoulders, and lift. Lovely. You can walk those shoulders under further once you're up, if that works for your body. And then let's set our spine down one little bump at a time, starting with the neck. Just go slow. See if you can feel each one set down in order. Nice. Lovely. Tilt again. Just a few times. And then let's bring the knees in together. Cross one ankle over the other. Reach around with your hands. Grab onto those feet. Widen the knees. Lower those crossed legs down to the mat. And then you can take your arms overhead. Grab opposite elbows or cactus arms. Whichever of those options feels like it supports opening. Yes, and just allow some length, some softness to happen. All right, release your arms. Bring those knees back up. Put the opposite ankle on top. Reach around, take those feet again. Widen the knees, lower that to the mat. And then reach up, grab opposite elbows again, or whatever arm position you had on the other configuration. Yeah. What's to be done here? One more breath. Yes. Release your arms, bring your knees back up. And then take yourself through any last shapes, movements, postures your body didn't get to today, that it feels like it needs for completion. And then whenever you're ready, you can make your way into your corpse pose or whatever position works best for you in your final meditation. But we will get it dialed in as we have been doing. So if you're finding corpse pose, you can shake out those feet a little bit, let the hips soften as the feet fall out to the sides. You can tuck those shoulder blades under. You can lengthen your neck. Palms toward the ceiling. Find yourself aligned. I often have my legs shifted over in one direction a little. If you need a blanket, make sure you're warm and comfortable. And the fine tuning now is no fine tuning. It's just letting go. I'll be quiet for a few minutes, allowing us both to just simply release, soften, integrate our practice. These next few breath cycles, let's check out and see if there's any last places that are still holding on that you can soften. And then you can start to introduce some movement, just keeping it nice and gentle. Make your way onto your side when you're feeling like it's time. And then find your seated position again. If it's comfortable to keep your eyes closed, go ahead and do that. And we'll just check in again, find the alignment in our seated pose. And then see what it feels like to be you right now. How's your body feel? How's your mood? Anything else you notice or want to celebrate or take with you into your day? And then let's take one more full breath, feeling that whole being. Nice. And whenever you're ready, you can open your eyes. Namaste. Well, I hope that you are feeling finely tuned. I'm super happy that you came and practiced with me today. If you liked this, give it a thumbs up. If you have questions or comments, I would love to see those as well. Otherwise, I wish you a very, very wonderful day.